Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me for this session on LearningExpress Library for DoD MWR Library. My name is Shayna, and I am a Senior Customer Training Specialist with EBSCO. I'm very happy to be presenting today's session. We do have an agenda. We're going to cover the LearningExpress Library platform. I will demonstrate key resources for military personnel and families, including our extensive collection of test prep resources, including ASVAB and DSST, as well as ACT, SAT, GMAT, and GRE. We also have a number of ebooks on our platform. Over 200 ebooks are accessible, and a number of career-related resources. We have an award-winning resume builder and resources to help your patrons conduct successful interviews and conduct successful job searches. So we'll cover all of that today. My objectives for you are that hopefully by the end of today's session, you'll be comfortable with the LearningExpress platform. You'll know how to register and log in, access those key resources, access your My Center repository where everything that you save is stored for your access at a later time, and you'll know where to locate all of our help. We have a number of video tutorials and help resources. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to actually start on the landing page. Let me pull this up. And we are now looking at the landing page for LearningExpress Resources. You'll see your logo in the upper left corner, DoD MWR Libraries. And you'll see that there are navigation tools here at the top. And scrolling down, you'll see a prominent search box where you can search for resources by keyword or resource type. So if you're looking specifically for ebooks, you can type ebooks. If you're looking for maybe a DSST practice exam, you can enter DSST, and that will present your search results by clicking the magnifying glass. And then you'll see that we have a number of resources here that cater to the branches of the military, as well as to military families. So the military families link will have the majority of resources for your patrons. Everything from elementary through college and adult education are located here. In addition, you will see the Job and Career Accelerator tool at the bottom, and that is where you can access all of the job-related resources. The CODI Award-winning Resume Builder, our letter builder, and a number of occupational resources to investigate, explore, as well as tools to conduct job searches with our integrations with the Indeed job website and USA Jobs, which is a federal database. So lots here. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I'm going to click the sign in register link here. I'm going to enter my credentials. I do have a credential here that gets me into your platform. Just note that there is a registration button for new users here that you can click and enter your criteria if you are a new user and then log in. But I'll go ahead and log in now. And sometimes when I'm accessing my demo account, it makes me do it twice. We'll go ahead and do that, and it should log me in, and I am logged in. So upon login, just so you are aware, you will be brought to the My Center repository where all of your saved work is stored. It assumes that when you log in as a returning user that you want to access something that you may have saved previously. This My Center will house your resources by those key resource types. So any tests that you take and save are stored on the tests tab. The tutorials are stored on the tutorials tile, rather. We also have ebooks,
We're covered.
flashcards, articles, computer courses. All of your career-related resources will be on the career dashboard. So any resumes you build will be stored here, as well as any saved jobs and job searches you conduct. Okay, so that is the My Center. Let's go back to the home page. I'm going to use the navigation in the upper left corner to click the home link. And we will run through these resources. So if you click on any of these tiles of information, you'll see the resources are curated for each of these main titles here. So for active military, we have preparation for military tests, CLEP and DSST exams, and then the basic skills improvement for math, reading, science, grammar, and computer skills as well. You'll see that many of this is repetitive, but is designed to speak to the individual branches. So we've got National Guard and Reserve, transitioning military. We're going to go ahead and access military families now. Once again, clicking any of the categories, once you expose the tile here, you will be brought to a page with those specific resources. So we see we have elementary, middle school resources, high school resources, college admissions, high school equivalency, career and workplace skills, and then computer skills and core skills. Let me go ahead and just select any one of these areas. I'll go ahead and take a look at college admissions test preparation. That brings you to the landing page for the Military Families Learning Center. And since I selected college admissions, you'll see that college admissions now exposes all of these subcategories of categories of content. So within college admissions, you'll see preparation for the ACT, the SAT, PSAT, advanced placement, which is pretty extensive as you can see here, SAT subject tests, and moving over to the second column, TOEFL IBT and IELTS exams if you need to demonstrate English proficiency, as well as preparation for college admissions essays and resources to help you select the right college for you and discover scholarships. So there is a lot of information on each of these centers. This just demonstrates a sampling of what you'll find within military families under college admissions. I'll quickly click into elementary. Elementary really starts at grade 4 for our platform. So you'll find resources for grades 4, math, reading, writing, language, art, all the way through 8th grade. Okay. And then we have preparation for high school entrance exams preparation resources as well. So let me go ahead and actually scroll down to the high school students. We have a few more subjects, of course, the math and language arts. Uh, we have preparation for the AP here, recognizing that this is a high school students center, and additional subjects covering science, social studies, logic and reasoning, a few state tests, Florida state exams, Texas state exams, and that is, primarily for we have resources or that cover many specific state tests, and they will be sprinkled throughout our platform. But you'll see the Texas and Florida listed here. We did cover college admissions, so let me quickly go into college students. We do have college level skills review for math, reading, writing, speaking, and grammar. Science, covering biology and chemistry, earth science, general science, and physics. And once again, you'll see those CLEP exams as well as college placement tests. So if you are looking to earn or actually do well on a college placement exam, which will reduce your need for developmental coursework, patrons can access practice for the AccuPlacer, the ASSET, the PERT, the TSIA, which is a Texas-specific one. We also have college credit practice with the CLEP exams practice review for a number of subjects here, as well as DSST, which is more popular for military personnel and families. You can earn college credit with practice for the DSST, formerly known, I believe, as the Dantes. It's now the DSST, and you'll see practice for a number of subjects, everything from business through college algebra, geography, world religion, finance, public speaking, statistics, technical writing. Okay. And then we have a number of soft skills tutorials to help your patrons succeed in college and beyond, with some tutorials on developing organizational skills and academic success, information literacy, how to get academic support, as well as personal success skills. We have, for those college students looking to go on to graduate school, practice for a number of resources graduate school admissions exams, including the DAT, the GMAT, the GRE, LSAT, MAT, MCAT, and PCAT. So whether they're looking to go into business school or into law school or medical, we have a number of practice resources for them. Okay, so that's the College Student Center. High school equivalency, lots of resources here to earn your high school equivalency credential. We have preparation for the GED in English as well as in Spanish, preparation for the high set, as well as a task exam. So in the United States, there are 3 branded resources that are accepted throughout the country. Some states accept just the GED, some states accept all three. Okay, so we have all three represented here. We actually are a partner with GED. We are recognized for our preparation resources for the GED, and that's why we have an extensive collection for GED test resources. And that is the most popular high school equivalency test. So you'll find that accepted in most states. So you'll see that we have lots of resources for GED. Okay, so let's scroll down and take a look at, I'm going to jump over career preparation because we have that Job and Career Accelerator Center that I want to cover. But within Improved Core Skills, we've got, once again, additional resources to build or strengthen or hone those skills in basic math, reading, writing, speaking, and grammar. And some of those soft skills tutorials that I mentioned at the college level, we also have here. Personal success skills, organizational, time management, media literacy, personal finance, and social media. And you'll see computer skills represented within each of the learning centers from the landing page because we feel that computer skills are important for every walk of life. Everyone can benefit from our computer skills tutorials. We have popular software tutorials from the Microsoft Office suite of resources covering Microsoft Access and Excel, OneDrive, Outlook, PowerPoint, Project, SharePoint, Visio, and Word. In addition, you'll see practice for Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, and information on your Windows operating system. All right, so lots of resources here on the Military Family Center. This is a center that I've selected because it has most of the resources you'll find in the other learning centers. This is the most comprehensive for military families. Let me pause here and see if we have any questions before I dive into sampling some of these resources. And feel free, if you are just joining, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself to ask or utilize the chat feature if that is available to you to ask any questions. Okay, so I don't hear any questions. I'm going to go ahead and sample a resource. I'm going to start with sampling a test. We have the maybe not college admissions. So let's maybe take, actually what I should do, since I can demonstrate utilizing the search, I'm going to type in DSST and we'll click the search, and you'll see, this I actually wanted to demonstrate, that selecting the search box to do a search for a particular subject will bring you to search results, the search results page, which will identify for the keyword that you enter what kinds of resources we do have available. So within DSST, you can see that we have 58 tests for DSST and 21 articles, okay? And those are represented here, okay? That's just one way to conduct the search. But back on the home page, if we go through the categories here, we can locate our DSST resources. My apologies, I have a little bit of a cold. I don't want to cough in your ear, so give me one more second. My apologies again. So we are now looking at the DSST practice tests, and we can take any of these resources. I'm going to select the Computing and Information Technology section, and that will show you that we have 4 resources here, 3 tests, and 1 article. And I'm going to actually sample the first one here, the Computing and Information Technology practice test. Notice here that below the title and the description, my apologies, still coughing, we have a Start Test button, and we have a print option. So many of our tests give you the option to print a paper copy, but we are going to take the online version. I'll go ahead and click the Start Test button to begin. So the test is loaded. Now we're taking a look at the introductory page. So we'll review details about the exam, how to take the exam. Over to the right in the gray box, you'll see a few important details here regarding the test. This one tells you how many questions are on the exam and how much time you have to complete the exam. So we do attempt to simulate a testing environment. So if the official exam is timed, then our practice resources are timed as well. And then you have up to 3 test modes: simulation, practice, and learner. In the simulation mode, the test time is enforced. In practice, it is not enforced, but it is displayed. And in learner, you don't actually have a timer. You can see the questions and answers as you move through the exam. The practice mode is the default mode. We'll click Start Test to begin. So the test is loaded, and we're now looking at the title in the upper left corner. We can move through the test with the next and previous buttons right below the title. We also have the timer ticking down here, and we have a few options here: a notepad to take notes, a Finish Later button, and a Score My Test button. In the Finish Later, with the Finish Later button, if you don't have time, for instance, this is a 2-hour exam, if you don't have a full 2 hours to take the exam, you can hit Finish Later and it will freeze the timer and save your work in progress. What I'm going to do is move through this exam and just take a few questions randomly and then demonstrate scoring. All right, so let's pretend that I've completed the exam. I'm going to hit Score just for demonstration purposes. It does warn me that I haven't completed the exam, but I'll proceed and score. And that's going to bring me to my score report. So we instantly score the exam, and you're then brought to the score report page. You'll see your score in the mustard yellow box on the left. You'll see an explanation, and this is a scaled exam. It will tell you details about the scaling. And then below that, you'll see a score breakdown. So we do take a look at the test specifications for the official exam, and we model our tests off of those test specifications. So we're able to break down the test by the test specs as it's reported by the DSST, or the Prometric, I believe, is the organization. So we're able to break down this test by the main sections of content that are covered on the official exam. So the score breakdown is really important because it really informs the user what their strengths and weaknesses are when it comes to this exam. You can see by the main topic and subtopic how many questions you were asked, as well as your performance, how many you answered correctly and incorrectly, skipped, and then we provide a score for each topic and subtopic. So this really informs the user their strengths and weaknesses, allowing them to focus in on those weak areas to improve their overall score next time. Okay. Another helpful tool here on the score report page is the View Answers button. We're going to go ahead and click that. And it will show you at a glance your performance, how many questions you answered correctly and incorrectly. And so you can see here for the 4 questions that I answered 2 correctly. I'm given a green check mark for the correct answers and an X for the incorrect answers. But these are all hyperlinks. So if I were to click anywhere here, it would bring me back into the exam, and then I'm able to review detailed scoring information now that the test has been scored. So you can see here for question number 1, I'm given a green check. It tells me that I'm correct, but it also tells me why. Okay, so if I guessed or if I need more explanation, I can review these answer explanations that are provided with each question. Let's move to the next page. We can see question 2. I chose B. It tells me that is incorrect with the red X. It tells me D is correct. And it also tells me why choice D is correct and why choice B is incorrect. Okay, so really helpful to review the detailed answer explanations. Let's go back to the score report. And I've covered the score, the scoring explanation, the view answers button, the important score breakdown. And if we scroll to the very bottom of the page, the site will recommend a few additional resources related to the test that we just took. So you'll see an additional test here, the second version of that DSST computing and information technology practice. Now, if it had been maybe an algebra exam and we have algebra resources, additional algebra resources, then that list would be a lot longer. It wouldn't be exhaustive, but it would show additional resources. All right, so let's go back to the home page, check to see if we have any questions before I move back on to an additional resource. I do want to show you a tutorial, and then I'll move on to a video tutorial to show you what those computer skills tutorials look like, and an ebook as well. And then we'll move on to Job and Career Accelerator. Hopefully that works for everyone. So let's take a look at a tutorial. Let's say I am interested in algebra, and instead of typing a specific name resource, I'm just typing in a subject. I'll click the search icon and notice here that there are 58 tests, 4 tutorials, 9 ebooks, 4 articles, and 3 flashcards. So I'm going to deselect the flashcards, articles, tests, and I'm going to be left with 4 tutorials and 9 ebooks. And I can access those resources right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click the basic algebra tutorial to launch it. And you'll see that our tutorials are very extensive resources. They provide all of the content needed to do well on the practice exams. So these are supportive resources to aid in your learning and understanding of a topic. So we can see here on the left, there is an outline. You'll see that this tutorial on algebra has 6 units of content covering several topics. You can jump into a unit by clicking the plus sign, and that will expose all of the lessons covered within the unit. You can see here lesson 2 covers multiplying polynomials, lesson 3 covers factoring polynomials, and if you click the plus sign, it will expose all of the topics. You can jump around or move sequentially through the tutorial with the next and previous buttons, but if you jumped into a particular topic, it would bring you to that page. So we're looking at factoring polynomials involving more than one method, and this is the tutorial. You'll read through the content, look at the examples, and it also gives you an opportunity to practice what you learned and check your answers right within the tutorial. Notice over on the left, let me close Unit 4 and scroll back up. Our tutorials are also equipped with pre-tests for diagnostic assessment and post-tests. So for formative and summative assessment, we do build in assessments with our tutorials. Okay? The idea here is if you take the pretest and review the score report, the pretest will inform the user what units of study to focus on within this tutorial. And then when they're done focusing on those units of study, they can take the post-test, and hopefully the post-test score is better than the pretest score, which will show growth. So those are our tutorials. I'm going to click Finish Later to exit out of this. And now what I'd like to do is jump into an ebook. So let me go back home, and you will find ebooks sprinkled throughout all of our resources organized by resource type. So let's say we are taking a look at college admissions test preparation resources. You'll see, for instance, with the ACT, there's a section for ACT ebooks. Okay, so you'll find ebooks sprinkled throughout each of these resources, or once again, you could use a search box. Let's say I'm looking for writing resources. I'll click the magnifying glass, and I'm going to deselect everything else to expose just the 22 ebooks that pertain to writing on this platform. And you can see here we have a number of ebooks pertaining to writing. And we can open up any of these by clicking the download ebook button. It will download to your desktop in the lower left corner. You can see that it's downloaded as a PDF, and these are very basic PDF files. There are no digital rights restrictions. It is it's a PDF of the printed uh, title that Learning Express continues to publish. We do publish a number of titles. There are about 200 ebooks on our platform. Great resources for you to access online. There are no digital rights restrictions. It comes with unlimited access. You do have the opportunity to download or print with the print and download options in the upper right corner. Of course, you can scroll through on the left with the thumbnails or with the scroll bar on the right to review your ebook. Okay, so wonderful resources. Let's close this out. Um, Let me go home. And next, I'd like to sample our computer tutorials. So computer tutorials are located within each of these learning centers, usually towards the bottom. So you see improved computer skills under transitioning military. You see improved computer skills under National Guard. You'll see it everywhere. Okay, so we can access it. They're the same resources. It brings you to a section here which covers basics for computer basics, internet basics, and then the more popular resources are popular software tools. So I'll go ahead and access one of these. I'm going to launch the PowerPoint resource. And this will bring us to a page which will show you all of the PowerPoint resources we have. So we cover basic topics and intermediate topics. So depending on the type of learner your patron is, if you have no knowledge of PowerPoint, maybe you'll want to take the basic course. If you have some knowledge, then maybe you'll want to take the intermediate course. This does tell you the course time, total course time. So these are very lengthy tutorials. This one is over 7 hours long. So this is not intended to be viewed in one sitting, of course. Some of them are much shorter. We do have maybe hour and a half tutorials, but I guess it depends on the complexity of the software. So PowerPoint is a very complex tool, and hence we've got a long tutorial. So let's go ahead and click Start Tutorial under the basic course. It's going to load right on our screen. You can press the play button to view this video. These are all HTML5 video tutorials covering the basics of PowerPoint in this case. Now you can click play to start the video from beginning and then watch it all the way through, or you can click the table of contents in the upper right corner. If I were to click that, it will expose all of the mini videos that add up to that 7.5 hour long tutorial. And you can jump around. So let's say you understand some of the basics and you want to move into using text or formatting for interest or working with objects. You can expose any of these chapters and then jump into any of the mini or the topics. So let's say I want to learn how to resize an object. I'll go ahead and click that radio button and it will advance to that page within the tutorial. Now I have not shared the audio, but the instructor is speaking and she will or he will demonstrate the features of this particular topic within PowerPoint. So the idea here is you will watch and the instructor is going to demonstrate the features and functionality for particular topics within this lesson. The idea here is you practice what you learned. It's relatively passive, so it's not an interactive tutorial. It's a very passive tutorial, but the idea is if you have the software, then you go ahead and replicate what you've learned. So great resource to learn a lot of details. As I'd mentioned, 7.5 hours of content, so this is very detailed. If you do go through the entire tutorial, at the end, it does give you the opportunity to print a certificate of completion. It is not equivalent to a Microsoft credential, but it does help demonstrate that you have learned a lot of details regarding the topic. And it is something that I feel once you've gone through this, you can put on your resume for being proficient with these particular software resources. Okay, so that's our computer skills tutorial. Let me go ahead and click back to the home page. And so I have sampled a test, a tutorial, an ebook, and a computer skills tutorial. There are many more resources, of course, over 1,000 resources when you add them all up. And for the sake of time, I'd like to spend the last half hour or the last few, close to half hour, covering some of those job-related tools that we have. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down from the home page and access Job and Career Accelerator. Okay. And within Job and Career Accelerator, you'll see that we have several sections of content. The Resume Builder, Find a Career Match, Explore Occupations, Search for Jobs and Internships, Prepare for an Interview. And then we have all of our career-related ebooks housed here. So everything related to careers, you can locate an ebook. So if we were to click Career Ebooks, you'll see that we have a number of titles. Some are very generic, like 100 Conversations for Career Success, and some are very job specific. So an ebook on becoming a caseworker or a healthcare professional, for instance. So you'll see our career-related ebooks all housed here. Okay, but let's go back. And I'd like to start maybe with finding a career match. Okay, so we do have two resources here, an interest matcher and a skills matcher. These are great resources if you're looking to see what your skills or interests would translate into a potential career. I find that many students who don't have a lot of skills utilize the interest matcher, or people who are maybe not really interested in seeing how their skills translate, but maybe their interest, if they're looking to change careers, they may want to utilize the interest matcher. Okay, and then the skills matcher, of course, will take your skills and match you with like occupations. Okay, but I'll go ahead and launch the interest matcher. I've actually taken this, so let me click start over just for the sake of time. This is the landing page where you review all of the instructions. This is what the survey looks like. So it will pose a number of statements and you'll rate it according to the scale listed here. Click begin now. This is a 60 statement survey. So you'll go through each page responding as honestly as possible. And I'll click through to the end. And when you can't go any further, then you'll click submit my answers. That will take the responses to those statements and then match you with relevant occupations. So you can see here that I am looking at the interest matcher results graph, and it actually starts by matching you with 6 interest categories, and those 6 categories are listed here: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. We can see here, if we click the plus sign to the left, it will explain what each interest category is. So I'm most matched, of course, with 100% match with the investigative category. It says that people with investigative interests prefer work activities that involve mental tasks more than physical ones. They often like performing research and doing mental problem solving more than persuading or leading. Okay, and if I want to know what that translates into for a career or occupation, I can scroll to the bottom in the lower left corner and click View Matches. And that's going to match me with some occupations. These are a few occupations that may interest me based on the responses to the survey. And these are all hyperlinks into occupation cards. So let's see, maybe I am interested in becoming a nuclear monitoring technician. I'll go ahead and click that. And that will bring me to what is called an occupation card for this occupation, nuclear monitoring technician. So it gives a brief description of the occupation. Many of our occupation cards are equipped with mini videos, maybe an hour, I'm sorry, a minute and a half, no more than 2 minutes long. And we have a lot of information that we can learn about this occupation listed on this occupation card. Now, this occupation card was provided by the ONET Career Database, which is a government website funded by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So we can get a lot of information from this database, starting with wages and trends. I can see what the average salary in the US is compared to my state. Now, I know that you are all international, but let's say your home base, if you were to come back to the US, maybe is Texas. You can see what the average salary in Texas is compared to the United States average, as well as the number employed in each of these, as well as the projected growth. So it is expected to grow in Texas by 11%. It also shows a number of job openings. This information is based on a 10-year period, 2018 through 2028, and the source is listed here. All right, so that's just one. There are other sources of information. We can learn about the knowledge, skills, and abilities needed for this occupation, the tasks and activities related. This is a great source of information if you're looking to enhance your resume and you happen to be a nuclear monitoring technician. These are some great bullet points if you're looking at ways to enhance your resume, to pull them from the occupation-specific tasks under tasks and activities. Technology and tools used in this occupation are also listed, as well as the education and training needed. Related occupations, so maybe it's not a nuclear monitoring technician, but maybe it's an agricultural technician, and each of these will link you to an occupation card for its information. Okay. Over here we have view available jobs, where you can actually see the job postings. This is our integration with the Indeed job website, so we can see actual job postings for the city, state, or zip within a particular radius, 5 to 100-mile radius of the city or state or zip that you enter. All right, but otherwise it's going to just give you job listings in the United States, so we can see job listings here. Some of them are older, some of them are newer. I've seen postings listed as recent as 4 hours ago. So this is a live integration with the Indeed job website. And if you're interested in investigating one of these jobs, you can click the title or the apply link, and that will open up a separate tab in your browser on the Indeed job website for the job that you're interested in, where you can get all the information you need as well as apply on the company site. Okay, so that's our integration with the Indeed job website within Job and Career Accelerator. Okay, so let me go ahead and click back to Job and Career Accelerator and just reacclimate to where we started out. We started out by clicking the Find a Career Match section, and we completed that survey. But you don't have to complete the survey to explore over 1,100 different occupation profiles. You can click Explore Occupations here, and we have different segments. We have Exploring Green Economy Occupations, Hot Technologies, In Demand, and we even have a Military to Civilian Occupation Exploration tool. If I were to launch that one, it will bring us to this tool where you select your military branch or enter a job code or name. So let's go ahead and select Army. And I don't have a job code, but I will just enter engineering because I know that there are Army engineers, and we'll click go. If you have a job code for your designation within the military, you can enter it here. This is a database specific to military occupations. But if we were to click go, it will tell you for your engineering position within the Army, the different disciplines. So I'm going to select one of these, Command Sergeant Major, Engineering, Military, Police, or Senior Engineer Sergeant. If I were to click any one of these, I'll click the Combat Engineer, I should say, and then it will show you the related careers in the civilian world. So we can see here a combat engineer equivalent in the civilian world can equate to civil engineering technologist or paramedic or correctional officers, intelligence analysts. These have similar skill sets. Okay, so this tells you what your skill set for your position in the military equates to, and you may find interest in. So if you were to click any one of these, I'll click intelligence analyst. That is going to bring you right to the occupation for occupation card for intelligence analysts. And once again, you're seeing in this little video, as well as all of the information available for this particular occupation. So some great resources to explore potential occupations when you're ready to move on from the military, or if you're just interested to see what your skills relate to in the civilian world. Okay, so that's the Explore Occupations tool back on Job and Career Accelerator. And if you want to go right into job search, you can click the search for jobs and internships option, and that gives you access to the federal job search with our integration with the USA Job Federal Database, and then our integration with Indeed. So you can conduct a job search using Indeed, as well as an internship search. So if you have any students looking for internships exclusively, you can utilize the USA internship search, job search with Indeed, as well as in Canada. So we have integrations with the Indeed Canadian internship search and the Canadian job search. And this will allow you to conduct a job search. It does give you the basic job search where you enter the job title, skill, or company name for your city, state, or zip. And then you click the search, or you can conduct an advanced search by clicking the advanced search option. Enter the keywords and employ any filters. So if you're looking for a particular job type, whether it's a temporary full-time contract, if you have a salary requirement, if you're looking for jobs only on job boards or employer websites only. So those are some filters you can employ to conduct a job search. Okay, and so if we were just to type in engineer, for instance, and I'll just enter New York and click search, you can see that my search resulted in over 2,800 options, and I can review some of these. So we can see this one was listed just 2 days ago, DNT Enterprises in New York for mechanical engineer. We can click the apply link or the title, and that will once again pop us over into the Indeed website where this job is listed. Okay. Once again, any questions you have, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to dive into any of these topics as I go through them. So we've covered the tutorial, or the survey rather, the Find a Career Match. We've discovered occupations with the Explore Occupation link, and we've searched for jobs and internships. Next is the Build Resumes and Job Letters. So we've got an award-winning tool called the Resume Builder. We also have a tool to build or create effective cover letters and information letters and job offer letters, but I'll take a look at the Resume Builder by launching that career tool. Okay, we'll bring you to the title here, Resume Builder, and it will ask you, what do you want to do? Do you want to create a new resume from scratch or upload an existing resume and edit? The create a new resume from scratch is going to give you a lot of support. So if you have any patrons who need a lot of support with crafting a resume from the beginning, I would suggest having them walk through this tutorial. Okay, so you're going to complete the required fields by entering a resume name, as well as selecting a job category for your target industry. And then you'll select your job experience, whether you have little or no experience currently in college or are mid-level experienced, what have you. And then you'll click Start Building My Resume there at the bottom. It'll bring you to a template. There are 4 tabs on this page, this resume template. The first tab is the Build or Edit Your Resume tab. Then there is the Browse Sample Resumes tab, Keyword Lists, and Preview. It always opens to the Build or Edit Your Resume template. This template provides all of the major sections that could be used or completed to enhance your resume or to build your resume. It reminds the user all the ways in which they can promote themselves. It starts with the header, and it will actually populate your header with your name and your email address that you created when you registered or created an account on the platform. Of course, you can edit that because I understand many people may utilize a special email address or want to add their LinkedIn profile. So to edit that, you would just click the edit link in the upper right corner of that header. Next, you'll see the headline, highlights of qualifications, experience, education, skills, all of those sections that help you sell yourself. So you'll complete the sections that apply to you. So if you don't have any professional associations, you just wouldn't complete that section. Only the sections you complete end up on your completed resume. Okay, we do provide a lot of support. So if you were to click the headline here, you can click the add option and it will give you a definition of a headline as well as a lot of supportive information on how to complete this section. And then a space for you to enter your headline with all of your editing tools. If I click that plus sign, you'll see that lots of information is provided. It tells you how to create a headline. It gives you maybe a sample. It also tells you things you should avoid, some caution, as well as some helpful hints. And then you go ahead and you type your headline, utilize your editing tools, and click save. And that will bring you back to the template, which is now complete with your headline. And now that ad turns into an edit if you want to edit it further. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. I'm going to show you how to utilize our sample resumes. Let's say we're taking a look at the highlights of qualifications, and maybe I'm not sure on how to complete this section, so I'll go ahead and review this more about, review it, look at the helpful hints and caution, but maybe I just kind of need to see what a highlights of qualification looks like on a sample resume. Well, I can come over to the Browse Sample Resumes tab, click that, and then it will populate the job category that I entered earlier as well as my experience level and provide some sample resume matches. I can click one of them to view and then it will show me the resume down at the bottom. So now I'm looking at the sample resume and this one is equipped with a highlights of qualifications. So now I see what this looks like in an actual resume and I get more of an idea of how to write to it. If I want to utilize this sample resume, if I like the language and the formatting, I can add this to my selected sample resumes by clicking the mustard yellow bar at the bottom. And you can see at the bottom of the page, it is now listed here as one of my reserve resume samples. So if I go back to the template, so I'm on Browse Sample Resumes, let me return back to the template. And here I can see when I click the highlights of qualifications from my resume, I now have the opportunity to customize my resume with a sample. All right, so I can add the highlights of qualifications from that sample resume that I just viewed, and I can drop it right into my template. Okay, so that's how I actually pull in the content. Now, maybe I pulled it in because I liked the formatting, or maybe I liked some of the language, but of course I'll edit this to make it my own, changing whatever I need to, utilizing the editing tools and then clicking save, and that's how that becomes my highlights of qualifications. Okay. We also have keyword lists. Keyword lists provide two useful word banks of commonly used resume vernacular. If you are familiar with the job hunt, you know that when you submit a resume these days, it is being submitted to online, and the eyes that are on your resume initially are not eyes, they're ones and zeros. There are computers that are scanning your resume, looking for those keywords that match the job description. So you want to utilize some keywords to enhance your resume and make it more attractive to that applicant tracking system. So we do have two different word banks, action words by skill type. So if you need to if you're interested in marketing, for instance, your organizational skills, you can take a look at our action words by skill type to help sell your organizational skills in this instance. If you're looking for job specific words by industry type, you can select this different tab here within our keyword lists and then navigate to your industry. So we'll click open engineering since we're on that topic. And then I'll have to select my discipline. So maybe it is aerospace. And now I'm looking at all of the job specific words related to aerospace engineering. All right, so I may want to make sure that my resume has a few of these keywords. So that's how you utilize keywords. The last tab here is the preview resume tab. This shows you your completed resume. Since I only completed 3 sections, only 3 sections are present here. I do have the ability to customize this resume by clicking the gear icon in the upper left. And it does allow me to rearrange sections of my resume. Also, it allows me to select a format. So I don't have to be an expert at formatting my resume. I have, I think, about 5 or 6 sample formats to choose from. So if I click any one of these thumbnails, notice how my resume format changes. So this gives you opportunities to select different formats without having to play with the formatting yourself. Okay, so it'll take your content, and when you find one that you like, all you have to do is click save. Okay, the save icon, and that is going to load your completed resume nicely formatted. You'll see that you have some opportunities here to copy or clone your resume, to print it, to download it. This is a way that you can export your resume out of Job and Career Accelerator or email it. If you select the download option, it will give you up to 3 different file types to choose from: docx, PDF, and RTF to export your resume. If you're not sure what format to use, we do provide an explanation on when you would use either. And then you select your file type and then click the download. And that's how you export it out of Job and Career Accelerator. If you leave it in, it will always be there for you on this platform when you log in. If I were to go to the My Center, let me go there by placing my cursor over my name and clicking My Center. Remember, I showed you that when I first logged in. If we go to the My Center, now that My Center is populated with all the resources that I accessed today. So we see that DSST test, that basic algebra tutorial, the visual writing ebook, that PowerPoint tutorial, and then under the career dashboard, we see that resume that I just created. It does give me a timestamp, and I have all of my tools to edit, copy, print, and download or email. Okay, so that's the Job and Career Accelerator, tools. So we covered resume, career match, occupations, search. We do have one more resource that I'll just quickly show you. We have an interview with confidence tutorial. So if you're looking to prepare for an interview, I recommend that everyone go through this tutorial. It provides lots of support. It's a tutorial, so that's a 1-unit tutorial with 3 lessons. There's about grade interviews, how to prepare for an interview with lesson 2, some things to conduct, like conducting pre-interview research, what to wear, what to bring, what to avoid. My favorite one is the practice interview questions, lesson 3. It gives you the commonly asked interview questions with some support in how to respond to that question, and space here for you to practice your response. Okay, so that's the interview with confidence tutorial. And we are almost at time, so I do want to show you a few other resources that are available to you as administrators and librarians. For end users, you can direct them to the help link. We do have frequently asked questions that cover everything from registration to accessing our resources, as well as video guides. So if you don't have time to walk a patron through this platform, just send them to the video guides link. This is available without logging in. You just click video guides, and it gives you, I believe, a 20-minute video. Yes, 21 minutes on this resource, this platform. And that 21-minute video is broken down into all of these mini videos, a video on registering, how to take a paper pencil test, how to take an online test, how to download an ebook, uh, even downloading the mobile app. So we do have the mobile app available to your users. Now this site is responsively designed, so it is fully functional on any device, but if you would like to utilize the mobile app for offline use, in the event that you don't have access to the internet, we do have the mobile app tool. Okay, so this is the video guide for your end users. Now we also have a site that we have designed for military personnel, And I'm going to show you that, and it's the DoD MWR Libraries website, designed by our team for your patrons and for you as administrators, of course. And it covers lots of subjects. So we have an entire marketing material section over here on the left, where you can access all of our flyers and bookmarks, posters, web buttons, social media toolkit. We also have a number of training resources, access to our video tutorials, training videos, access to our fully fledged site for training resources, which is called EBSCO Academy. We also have our training FAQs and search box and URL builders for EBSCO resources. And then we have access to title lists, as well as lesson plans for all of those resources, and additional administrative tools. These are not specific to LearningExpress, but these are for all of your EBSCO subscribed resources. So here you will see links to log into EBSCO Admin, ECM, EBSCOnet, and Gobi, as well as instructions on how to submit a support case if you need technical support. Okay, so this is all accessible on the DoD MWR libraries. And that, I believe, URL, I'm not sure if I don't think I have access to entering this in the chat here. Let's see. Yes, I do. So let me go ahead and type that in the chat so that you have access to it. This is a great resource to bookmark. It provides tons of support. You can actually utilize the search box to find resources and then click search. Okay, so that does it for today's session on your LearningExpress resources, specifically for DoD MWR libraries. I hope that this has been informational for you, that you've learned a few things. One last thing I'll share with the last 30 seconds or so, I forgot to mention, there is a What's New link. Once you log in, you can see what's new. And this will tell you what has recently been added to the database. We do quarterly updates on the calendar year. So we have one coming up, I believe, in April, but this shows you the last updates as of January. So we've added a few new resources. So the new resources are highlighted in green. We just added the food handler serve safe practice exams, and we updated our TOEFL IBT practice resources, as well as a few Texas specific teaching credential Texas core subject practice exams. And then we have actually food serve safe is listed again. I think this is because this is specific for the military version of our platform. So you'll see any new resources there when you click back to the home page on the What's New link from a logged in state. Okay, so that does it. We are at time. Oh, absolutely. I can send you my contact information. Let me actually show you another link where you could access my contact in case you lose it. I'm actually going to click Administrators and Librarians here. It's available on any page of the platform. So anywhere you are, just scroll to the very bottom to the gray footer. There, by the way, you'll see the mobile app access. So if you would like to download the mobile app from the Google Play Store, from Apple, and then there's an FAQ for mobile apps. So this is the way you download it for offline use. But on the Administrators and Librarians link, if we click here, you can see additional resources. These are actually, you know what? I don't think my name, my contact information is listed here. My apologies. I'm thinking of something different. But this is a platform on EBSCO Connect. This is our support site for all things EBSCO. So you can access additional resources for your LearningExpress subscription, as well as other EBSCO resources. This brings you right to the LearningExpress page, where you can access all of those resources, our promotion kit, our new content, as well as our tutorials. My contact information I will enter. Let me just pull that up. I'm going to quickly get it from my signature so I don't type and send something incorrect here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat. Just give me one moment to pull that up. And there you go. Senior Customer Training Specialist. I've listed my email address as well as my phone number in the chat. So if you do need me, please reach out to me. But the other way you can contact us, and I didn't mean to do that, I did mean to show you on librarians and administrators, there's also a contact us link here right next to it. If you click that, it will bring you to the connect page where you can submit a support ticket. Now, if you don't have a Connect account, you will request a Connect account to our support staff who will create an account for you if you are a librarian, library administrator, and then you can sign in and submit a support ticket. Okay, so I will just show you what that looks like from a signed in state. So from a signed in state, you do have access to track or create cases. Okay, so I can create a case here. And that's how you would submit a case to our support staff. We are available internationally 24/7. Okay, and uh, contact information is here for the US and outside of Canada if you need to reach us by phone. But our best method is by submitting a ticket, and response time is usually within a couple of hours to 24 hours. Okay, so thank you again for all of your time and attention. I hope you make the best of this wonderful platform. Any last questions before we end today's session? Okay, well, thank you all for your time and attention. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye now.